And our next guest, this young lady that we got coming up, she's kind of taken the episodic television world by storm. And she actually came on the scene of the new show Power, and as one of the most, in my opinion, interesting characters in the show. And we haven't even really heard her voice yet. That's the interesting part about it. She also graduated with a master's from the famous Actor Studio, Pace University. And she's here with us tonight, live. Everyone, please welcome Ms. Leslie Lopez.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Leslie, we hear you.
Wow, hola, how are you?
Oh, I'm great.
We are awesome.
I am great.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for joining us. And,
thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. And, it's so funny because I've been trying to get you on the show since last
You have.
But
and I appreciate it so much.
I appreciate you calling it, because, see, the funny thing is I was able to contact you, through social media and so forth, and we contact a lot of different actors and stuff for these shows, and a lot of them don't keep their word. When you actually decided to say, yeah, I'm going to come on, I just want to take the time to thank you for that, because, number one, usually actors are saying, go to my PR person, go to my publicist, whatever, which I don't have a problem with. But a lot of times when you talk to them, they're like, well, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it, and then they don't show up. Or the no show.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, no, it's all good. But we do appreciate you calling in and keeping your word. And we're fans, like I said to you before, we're big fans of the show. We're fans of your character and your work. And I'm hoping to see more of you all over, not just on the show. And I'm going to introduce my Jedi Council. We're all here. We're here every week. We have one of my Jedi Councilmen, Ralph. Say hello to Leslie, please.
Hello, Leslie. How are you?
Hello. Nice to speak to you.
Nice to speak to you.
All right. And we also have Kevin. My other
hello,
Jedi
Kevin.
Councilman.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Leslie. How are you doing this evening? I just want you to know now that you're on the show, we're never going to let you go.
Oh, then I like it. I think I'm feeling comfortable already.
All right. He put the bass in his voice on that one. He put the Barry White on for you. And
yeah, I like it. Wow.
Also, our special guest host tonight is one of the hosts of another show on Dollhouse Radio, the Heaven Hollywood Experience. The shock jock himself, Evan Hollywood, is in the building. And say hello to Leslie, please.
Hello, Leslie Lopez. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm looking forward to chatting with all of you, gentlemen.
Nice.
That's what's up. So, let's get right into it. What exactly, let's start with this. Everyone always says, when did you want to start acting? I kind of want to ask the question of, when did you know you wanted to be an actress? At what point in your life?
At what point in my life? I would say when I started working in politics after my undergraduate schooling, and I realized that this wasn't what I wanted to do. The routine, the everyday 9 to 5, and I was about to go to law school, and I said, no, I know I have a story to tell, and I have a perspective to tell that story. And I felt like the way to do it was through entertainment. I felt that I could work on projects that dealt with issues and topics and characters that could really get all that passion and life experience that I've had, coming from where I came from. I felt like I could really relate to a lot more people doing that than working in politics. So I would say after I graduated from college, I really just threw it all in there and said, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to do this. So I'd say, yeah, pretty much then.
And plus, I guess politics is kind of like acting too, right?
Exactly. No, it really is. Absolutely. Just recently Yeah, no, it is. Somebody recently just said to me, they said, well, see, now it feels weird saying it, but it was just an interesting a thing that they said. They said, Hollywood is where good-looking actors go, and DC is where not very good-looking people go, actors-wise.
Oh, wow.
That's where the not-so-good-looking actors go. I've heard that saying before.
But now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm realizing I should not repeat this ever again because it sounds very vain of me. So let me take it back, but you get what I'm saying, yes?
I get it. No, we get what you're saying 100%.
But yes,
there's some funniness to that. I get it, and it's okay. We know you're.
No, they coincide. The politicians, you have to put up a face. You have to, be able to adapt and react in the moment like actors do. So that's why there is certainly a similarity between the two.
So how did you get started? When you made the transition, how did you get started acting?
I moved to LA. I started with mostly commercials and print and independent films. And I started pursuing that. That's kind of how I really got my first, taste of Hollywood. And it was certainly a big transition, of course. And LA is no joke. And but I did get, I got into the union and I started getting my agents and managers in check and all that. I mean, not that I got them in check, but I mean, I got all that, union card, agent, manager, check. And then it just, I just felt like I realized after spending a few years there that I could be doing the same thing in New York. And things were in a transition at that moment in Hollywood where a lot of productions started coming to New York, and my family's here, so why not be with my family and work in the business?
Interesting that you said that, and and we're talking with Leslie Lopez here on Real Talk, and here on Real Talk, we really like to make it a learning experience as well because we have a lot of actors and actresses on. We have a lot of independent actors and actresses come on, actors on the rise. So you did it really the traditional way. That, you did it the right way, but the traditional way where you went in, you started in print, you started in commercials, you went to L.A. Almost every actor that I know, and, being a filmmaker myself, all the actors that we've worked with in the past, I've seen that they've always made at least that one trip to L.A. They may have lived there for a little bit of time, and then a lot of them come back to...
Right.
But they have to go make that little transition for a little bit, then they come back. So you kind of took that tradition route. So I'm hoping that people that listen to this interview, aspiring actresses, or I don't even like to call them aspiring actresses, I just call them actresses, you know what I mean? So they may not be, they may be new actors. And that's good to hear that you were able to, we know that method does still work. You don't always have to know somebody. You can go through the methods of hard work and doing what you did. So now that leads me to the next question. So when you auditioned for the Pink Sneakers role, how did that work out? Explain me what happened in that audition.
Well, I have two things to say. First, yes, it is a very traditional route to go to L.A. and do that, and, eventually you find your way back to, your starting point if it happens to be New York. I love to say that it wasn't New York wasn't the epic center that it is now for really amazing productions that are happening in New York. At the time, it really didn't exist. It was New York was theater, LA was film and television, and that's what I was interested in. But nowadays, for your audience, for those actresses and actors, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's so important to go to LA. There's so much work happening in New York and representing the communities here in New York that, maybe if it had been, 10 or 6 years forward, where Hollywood was at the state that it is now, maybe I wouldn't have gone to LA. I certainly think that, and I'm very proud that New York has become a very strong figure in Hollywood, in lowercase Hollywood.
No,
and
exactly.
also so the second part to answer your question, what happened with Power was because I was in the hustle, and that is certainly something that I would promote and encourage. Everyone's got to keep the hustle and grind and put forth whatever other attributes, characteristics, experiences that you have that you can bring to the table. And mine happens to be that I spent over 10 years in gymnastics. And so, being out here in New York, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to, get my next gig. I realized that, I'm a gymnast. I know somebody put me onto stunts, and I was like, oh, I can do that. I know how to fall. I know how to do flips. I know how to do any of that. I'm like, yeah, put me down for stunts. Yes, sir. Yes, certainly. And then, so all of a sudden I started getting into the stunt world just because it was getting me on set, and it was getting me to meet people. And I'd rather be on set than not be on set, for whatever reason it is.
Exactly.
That is a great philosophy. So sometimes people have they miscommunicate things because they feel like they have to come. And I've known plenty of actresses like this. Unfortunately, they haven't gotten anywhere. They feel like they have to get on and automatically be the lead, be the head, and if it don't work out for them, they quit. You know what I mean? So it's like
exactly.
You got to grind it out, man. And you do stand-in work. You're still a working actress if you're doing stand-in work. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
You're doing stand-in work, doing stunt work, things like that. You're still a working actress, and that's how you get noticed, and that's cool. So, is that how you got on to the Power audition? Did you come on as a stunt actress, or?
Yes. So actually, I had worked as Jennifer Lopez's body double on her Fiat campaign commercial. The whole Fiat campaign, I was her body double. And body doubles and stunt people are kind of in the same world. And forgive me if that's not totally correct, but that was my impression. And so once I started working as her body double, I got to meet a lot of people in the stunt world. And so this wonderful man named Stephen Pope, that I will always give credit to, he connected me to another job that I did. It was called New York City 22. It was a series on CBS. I worked on that as a stunt double. No, as a stunt person. And then Steven connected me with Pete Bukowski, which is the stunt coordinator of Power. And so I got a call one day while I was in class because, like you mentioned earlier, I've been in a graduate school for 3 years, full-time program, and so I got that call during class time, and it said, voicemail was just like, hey, this is Vicki Thompson. I'm the casting director for a new show, Power, and I'd like to offer you a 6-episode contract to work as a stunt/actress. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like, yes. And so, but it was because of the stunt, about the opportunities I was exposing myself to, that you open yourself up to during the grind. And so that happened, and then what eventually ended up happening is that I met the amazing Courtney Kemp Agbo, the showrunner for Power, and she is just amazing and so open, and it just worked out in a beautiful way that she wanted to continue my character and just see where we could go, and it progressed to what it is now. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that your audience are mostly aspiring, but are actors, entertainment people. My message is that you just put yourself out there as much as possible, offering whatever attributes you have to give to the game, and doing that, and also being a good person on set and working your butt off. Doors open up, and so now my character that started off as just a stunt person ended up being, going into, further episodes. So, that's how that happened. So there was never an audition.
Now, I have a question for you because you mentioned before that about how New York is now, how it used to be the theater epicenter, but now it's coming towards film, especially with all the film festivals and everything and what have you. How do you feel about it's something we talk about a lot on the show about how like a lot of European actors are taking over because of the fact that quote unquote Hollywood has this, I guess, thing about using European actors, and the fact that European actors, they have a lot of time they spend in theater before they even do film. How do you feel about that concept, and how do you see yourself in the future? Do you see yourself doing a little bit more theater to hone your craft and then going back into film, or do you want to stay in like the stunt action type of role?
Well, I think firstly, if you're gonna put yourself into this business, you have to go all out, and I do, which is why I did my MFA, because if you're going to put so much on the line, push yourself to be the best that you can be at it. Don't go like half-ass on anything, especially in this business that is so cutthroat. And so I do believe that having a lot of training, always training, and I do believe this, that an actor never stops training. Even if you've done all these films and even if you've gotten your Oscar, you still are constantly freshening your skills and your craft and pushing yourself. So I do feel that that training is very important, and I'm happy that I had my family to encourage and support me through my classical training, which was my Master's of Fine Arts. I feel more confident. I feel that any role that comes to me, I have all these skills now. I have a toolbox now, and so perhaps I don't want to speak on our American actors, because there's certainly a lot of amazing American actors, but I guess European actors or Australian actors or whatever the influx is that's happening right now, perhaps they focus more on training and constant training and ongoing, and it should never stop. And so, that I think that's very important.
No, I think that's very important as well, and because like what you're saying, I mean, people like great actors like Al Pacino, he'll still do theater. Denzel Washington still does theater. You know what I mean? And because they're constantly training and honing their craft, and I believe what you said is true. An actor should never stop training. Should always be in training.
Absolutely. So, and to be more specific with to answer your question, you mentioned the theater versus film and television. I do feel that having theater background and experience on stage is, I think, such an amazing and perhaps crucial to your development as an artist, because it is certainly moment to moment, and you're taking risks, and you're adapting to the audience, and you're finding new things in something that you've been doing for 8 shows a week. And that pushes you as an artist that I don't think film and television does. But certainly film and television does push you, but theater does it in a different way that really harnesses your craft. And so I do think that theater is incredibly important to have that experience. And to also be a part of your local community. To be a part of your local theater community is very important. These are the people that will be there for you. When you don't have a gig and you do have a gig, they will be there. And I do think it's important for every artist to find their own community.
I love her. Yeah. I love her. She is talking. So you are talking
that woman
from mentioning your toolbox.
Ay, gracias. Thank you.
I'm telling you, if you keep the attitude and just your overall presence and the aura that you have about you, you are going to grow so much as an actor. Excuse me.
Oh, thank you. I hope the gods hear you. Thank you very much. I hope so. Thank you.
That was just.
You know what? It will happen. Damn it! It will happen.
Exactly.
Yes, it will.
Exactly. You warmed my heart with that. That was so awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, I want to I want to talk a little bit about the role. Since that role, people love that role, and the role of Pink Sneakers.
They do.
They do. Now, have you been getting a lot of? How's your feedback been? Have you? I know you're catching a lot of love from the Latin community for what you're doing.
Yes. I think well, first of all, I want to say that our showrunner, Courtney Campagno, she loves Pink Sneakers because, it's this female role, and she's dark and mysterious, and I love it. She loves that, and it was just an amazing, opportunity to have worked with Courtney. She's an amazing writer, amazing showrunner.
Right. She's the creator of the show, right? She's one of the creators of the show, correct?
She is the showrunner. She's the showrunner, yes. But she also wrote and developed the whole program and brought everybody on board. And gosh, she's everything. She's amazing. I know we kind of sound a little bit like, if you've heard other interviews of the cast members, we all it sounds like a little bit of a cult, but it is like we love Courtney because she is such a strong woman that unites us all. And I have to say that I've been totally spoiled by being a part of this show because the cast and the crew have really been so welcoming and encouraging and loving and supportive to me because, like I said, I didn't audition. My character kind of just started developing little by little. And here are these amazing, experienced actors that had to audition 5, 6, 10 times to get these roles, and here I am getting further developed, and they were so cool with me. Everybody was go Pink Sneakers, go. Everybody was so excited about my role, and they were like, yes, you're here, you're not dead. And I have to say that all of that love, that stems from the top, and it trickles down, and that's Courtney. She developed this community with our casting crew, and I've gotten nothing but love, and I can't tell you how eternally grateful I am to have been accepted into this amazing community.
So what do you think is in store for your character, Pink Sneakers? I mean, I know you probably shot the season already. You can't give anything away. I know that, but I mean, just do
what do you want? What do you want?
I know, right? Do you see the development?
You're not getting nothing from me, all right? I curse my head all day today. Do not give up anything.
I knew you were going to say it. Well, see, right before you came on, we were talking about the show. We were recapping last season and doing some predictions and things of that nature. And what I wanted to see, I was hoping to find out more about the character because I would love to hear, some background. Maybe, if she survives season 2 and makes it to the next season, maybe we can, if we didn't get it this season, we can get a little backstory on Pink Sneakers. Because, I feel that the character can go so many different ways. You can go so many different ways with the character, especially with an origin or a background. So what do you think is in store for the character? You probably, I can't ask you what do you know, so we'll ask you what do you think.
Well, how about this? Will we get that? Will we get more of a backstory on Pink Sneakers?
Well, because of the genius behind the Power Writers, they have developed these characters in a very well-developed and complex manner. And so I love that even just an assassin, the mysterious assassin that has no name and no background story is still, it's that the character still exists, and that is the writers. They really have opened the possibilities to all of these characters, and so, I think that's amazing that you're even curious about what Pink Sneakers' background is, and that's all to the writers and Courtney, of course. I certainly will not say anything about where I'm going or what I'm doing, but I will say that the fact that you're asking says something, because this is just something like my character just comes in every now and then, these small little moments, and the fact that people are curious, like, what is up with this person and their relationship, with Kanan. What is that? Where did that come from? That has to be so subtly written in a certain way that just shows how great this show is, and you don't really see shows like this that often, and so that's all I'll say about that, my friend.
So you guys see? Now you see that? We never mentioned Kanan.
Now, you can't tell us that.
We never mentioned Kanan. You did. So
hey, listen,
listen,
if you watch the show,
then
you saw me in episode 7 with Kanan. So I'm not saying anything about season 2. You certainly know. Hello, did you get a little refreshment before you did this interview? Hello.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I also want to ask you this. How about I know you have to have now, since you with the Pink Sneakers, any endorsement deals or people offering for you to have your own brand own line of Pink Sneakers out there?
That is hilarious. You know what? No, I haven't. Damn it! And I'm
we
open
need to get
it.
on that. Your agent needs to get on that.
Yeah. I'm very open to it. Just want to make that clear and for the record.
Nike, get on it.
Nike,
I do get a lot of tweets from people that see girls with curly hair with pink sneakers, and they're like, "Is this Pink Sneakers? Oh my God!" And I'm like, I like it. I'm bringing fear to the streets.
So what is your
through my character?
While we're talking endorsement, what is your favorite brand of sneaker? We'll ask that. What's your favorite brand of sneaker to wear? What do you like? Are you a sneaker person?
Well, I mean, Nike. Come on.
So Nike, we got to get on this, man. This girl, we got to get these line of pink sneakers going here.
Okay, nice segue, because now that we know who your favorite sneaker is, who is your favorite male and female assassin? Who is your inspiration for assassinism?
Ooh, assassins, like in general, all film and television type thing?
Now you say it in general, so now you...
Oh, you mean on the show, or what do you mean? I'm sorry, I didn't get to hear you correctly.
In general, in television and in film.
Ooh. Oh, jeez, that's a really good question. I mean, well, first of all, I have to say I'm a huge horror fan. So I love all horror, like, all those horror types. And my favorite will forever to this day will be Fred Krueger. Okay, so I love horror movies, but when it comes to, like, dramas, I love, oh, my goodness. Okay, how about this? I don't know. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody specifically, but I will say that most of the time, I always want the bad guy to get away.
Wow.
Okay, wow. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is, but I always want the bad guy to get away. You know?
Kind of piggybacking off that question, did you actually? Because you know what type of character this was when you read the script. Did you do any research, or did you do anything to prepare yourself for the role, for the type of character? I mean, there's different types of, because her character is definitely more on the mysterious, in and out assassin type of, like a ghost, no pun intended, in and out.
Right,
of there. So
right, absolutely.
I guess that's more of my question of the kind of piggybacking off his question. Is there anything that you what was your inspiration for the role to try to bring it, make it your own and bring it, do what you do with it?
Well, I have to say that it's because I really love, these dramas, horror, action. I love those type of movies. And so it's been kind of like a combination of various actors that I've seen, even like on shows like Sopranos or Boardwalk Empire. The assassin on Boardwalk Empire, I loved him. The Mask, what was his name? I loved him as an actor, but
he was great. Yeah, he was great.
But like Sopranos, but also like just Quentin Tarantino movies. Just basically like a combination of what it is to kill, because it's a job, because you have to do it. And also not just because it's a job. Some people do it because it's a job, but maybe sometimes you like it. But it's also, but for me, it was, my approach was not that I liked it. It was, it was survival, and I thought that worked well with the dynamics of the power structure that was written within the script. Everybody was in it for power and for self-preservation. And so I did a whole backstory as my character, my backstory that I developed as to what got me here. Why am I doing this? And, why can I not fail? Why can there not be option B? And that actually I really worked in for, if you remember, like, episode 2 where I got the cell phone text that said, go back to Miami. The job's done.
Right.
And I didn't. And so that was where I started developing my character, where I was like, why is she not giving up on this? And so I developed my own backstory, based on a lot of these awesome movies that I've seen throughout my life. About how to execute it and to actually technically do it, but also it all comes down to your own, what I believe, your own prior backstory that you develop and create and nurture for every character that you take on.
Wow. Now, how much freedom do you guys? How much freedom? I'm sorry, Wes. How much freedom? Just to piggyback off what you're saying, how much freedom did you have to actually make the character your own versus what was actually written for you? Because obviously you don't have any actual speaking line. So how much freedom did you have?
Well, I did in episode 7, Mister. I did in episode 7, Mister.
Oh, I didn't see episode 7.
Okay.
Yes, you did. So.
No, but it's a good question. I see what you're saying. No, I understand what you're saying. And basically, it was working with Courtney, who is amazing. And what I would do is just ask her questions, ask her lots of questions. What's this about? Why did she say this line? What is that? And so just asking her questions and having a wonderful, these wonderful conversations with her. She's so open to breaking it down for you. I love it that she does that.
Oh, so
she has a reason for everything.
Nice. So pretty much you didn't have to go off inside of what the dynamic of what she gave you for the character.
Yes, exactly. And, you'll see what happens in season 2, but yes, it was her, of course, you have to work, that's your job as an actor, to work off what the script is. But she was very accessible in terms of me just really digging into the background, and then her kind of guiding me through where she was seeing Pink Sneakers going. And so that's where we found, the happy place, I guess, when the writer and the actor and the showrunner come together, and it was because she was just so wonderfully open,
Nice.
Yeah, I love working with actors. I love when actors, I'm more of a type of director that lets actors create. I don't want them to, I'll let them build off of what was originally written. But I love when actors decide to, like when you mentioned you kind of for yourself made her own backstory as to why you felt this way. I think that is something that all actors should, because they have to be able to put themselves into it. And because obviously, to my knowledge, you're not an assassin and you haven't killed anybody. So you have to. That's what I said, to my knowledge.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. To my knowledge, that's all I'm saying.
I'm just kidding.
And,
I'm just kidding.
No,
she's not kidding.
I'm kidding for the record if anyone's listening. Homeland Security, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Remember, she used to be in politics, so...
Yes, exactly. I just got to put that on
Exactly.
record. Anyone's listening? I have not killed anyone. Continue, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. So I think that's a good thing that you put that in. So I'm sure that's probably a technique you learned at the Actor Studio. And what do you think? What else did you? What's the greatest thing that you took away from studying at the Actor Studio? That's such a famous platform, and I mean, so many great people have studied there. What was one of the things that you took away from there that you know, from studying there and graduating there?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. Amazing question, actually. And the thing that I think about that a lot, and I say, was this investment financially, time-wise, this huge investment that I put in, was it worth it? And I have to say, of course, I do strongly believe yes, but the thing that I got out of it is basically having respect for the story you're telling, doing whatever it takes to respect that character that you're doing. That character is a lifetime. It has its own world. That character has lived, and that character has to tell this story. Somebody wrote this for a reason. This isn't just this is just not a thing, 1 + 1 = 2. This is like a story, a human story that was developed for you to take on and interpret it and tell us that as storytellers. And I think that this program showed me to respect the story that this person has to tell. And you have to do all the work that you have to do in order to really be truthful to what this person has to say. And I value that, and I respect it, and I have to honor this person, this story, because this is important. And my job is to share it with the rest of the world. And that's not to be taken lightly, and that is why I think it's not easy.
I just changed my Facebook status to Leslie Lopez, my favorite actress in the whole world.
Exactly. Before that
One down, a million to go.
Listen. You don't understand. You don't understand. When we say this, we actually mean it, because you don't understand. There are so many that have made it, and there are so many out there that are growing into the industry, and they don't understand what you're saying.
Don't get it.
They have no concept of respecting source material or respecting the artistry of what a writer is trying to put forth. And there is some leeway with trying to take the character and make it your own. You're supposed to do that. But there's a boundary there that you're supposed to take. You just don't take the liberty of, okay, I see what you're trying to say, but this is what I did, so I'm going to do it this way.
Right.
The way you're talking is like you respect the boundary first before you go outside. And if you're not allowed to go outside, fine. I'll hang out inside the boundaries because I respect your material. I love that. Hands down, like Heaven just said, you are now my favorite actress. Just because of your work ethic.
Thank you. I really appreciate it very much.
Just because of your work ethic. I mean, it's just awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Thank you very much.
You really respect the craft. You respect this whole thing, and that is and you take it very seriously. And you really that's why I had that question for you, because I really want to know, to go somewhere like the Actor Studio and study there, what did you come out of it? And that was an excellent answer that you gave. And
thank you.
Describe your dream role, since we're talking about, you studied at the Actor Studio, and we know you gave us a little, and as we know, we're talking to Leslie Lopez here. we're learning more about you, just like, you were mysterious, like the role was mysterious. So now that we're learning more about you, describe to us your dream role. What is the ultimate where you can say, this is my role. This is it.
Yes, my dream role is definitely to tell the story of my background that hasn't really been told from our own people, which is I'm from Colombia. I'm Colombian. My family's Colombian. I lived in Medellin, and a lot of people are doing, taking on this fascinating, culture and history, and taking it into their own terms, which I appreciate that you're putting, Colombia on the map by, doing movies like, La Colombiana, or, Entourage does, does a whole thing on, like, doing a movie in Medellin. They were saying it Medellin, but it's Medellin, just for the record. And, and all these, like, Pablo Escobar, stories and all this stuff. But my dream role is to basically, continue to share, because there are amazing Colombian artists out there, Colombian and Colombian American artists that are putting out our stories out there that tell our perspective. And so I would love to have a role that tackles that on, that has to talk about immigration, that has to talk about the diversity among Latin America, that talks about, what went down in the 80s and what was our experience, and the children of that experience, which I am one. And so my dream role is to get back to, which is, remember the original thing was I was in politics, and so this would wrap up the politics, my culture, and my acting. So my dream role would be, taking on a role that discusses and shares with the world, like, who we are, like, we kind of get more stories out there about our culture and our experience. So I would say that is one, and I also have another one. Ready? I want to be a Bond girl, okay?
Okay.
Yes. A Bond girl. That is a milestone.
All right.
So, I tell you, that's a milestone. You can be a Bond girl. That's like, a lot of people. I mean, I'm speechless. Go ahead. So you want to be a Bond girl? That is an accomplishment in itself.
Well, hopefully it'll all go down.
I'll tell you this. We asked this question a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sitting here thinking as I'm listening to her talk, and remember we asked a couple of weeks ago who should have played Griselda Blanco? Well, here she is.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you.
Go.
Yes.
There you go. The godmother.
Exactly.
Right,
I have been saying that for years.
This should be the one who's playing Griselda Blanco.
And she comes from the same barrio or neighborhood from where my family comes from, Medellin, in El Barrio. And I know that story, closely just because of my family. Medellin's a very small city, so everybody had some experience with her. So absolutely.
Wow.
I don't, but I did hear that Catherine Zeta-Jones is going to be playing her, and which
no, you should be playing her. Catherine Zeta-Jones is Colombian.
Yes, thank you very much. I love this blog radio thing. I like this.
I mean, you're going to tell the story of
Dollhouse. I'm sorry, Dollhouse Radio.
Yes. Yep. If you're going to tell the story of Griselda Blanco, you should at least have, like you said, someone who knows the background of her, of where she comes from, of her culture. I mean, how are you going to get, no disrespect to Catherine Zeta-Jones, but how are you going to get, what is it? Catherine Zeta-Jones isn't even Latin. She's not even Latin.
Right.
I'll tell you this much. They better get it right, because her children are still alive. Don't end up in a body tag trying to do that backwards.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's true. But that's like the thing with casting right now. It's that, big names, A-list names.
Yeah.
They sell the tickets, so you'll have have, a white girl playing a Native American, or you'll have, Zoe Saldana is doing Nina Simone, like, you have, these big, and Nina Simone's my favorite artist of all time. So that was, shocking to me, but I understand the business, and I'm sure that you guys do too, being in the business, that, A-list names, they bring the ticket sales, But hopefully we'll get a little bit more diversity and a little bit more of these amazing actors that are out there that are really pushing and grinding it out and are super talented, but just need, their moment to shine, and to tell these stories that they know personally.
You know what it boils down to? It really boils down to Hollywood really just taking a chance. They're so nervous about
taking a chance, yes.
They're so nervous about not making their numbers. And I understand the numbers, and I understand that it's a business. But sometimes a story, and we know this with TV, we know this with any time with made-for-TV movies, they turn out to be awesome with an actor that's not even well known, or they have minimal amount of exposure, and they still tell the best story there is to tell, for whatever that particular story is. And I think it's just more so, which is why I'm so glad we still have independent films and we still get great films
Absolutely.
from unknown actors and things of that nature. So the one thing I do want to say is I honestly hope that you stay on your grind and that you reach beyond the stars, because you're capable of so many great things, and we're looking forward to seeing you up on that stage, receiving your first whichever award.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
You heard it first here on Real Talk, by the way.
That's right. And Real Talk. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing you return to the Actor Studios to sit in front of James Lipton.
Yes.
And dig into your career. But I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you the idea. It's said right here, June 1st. When you go on that stage, and I'm going to say when, because it's going to happen, when you go up on that stage to talk to Mr. Lipton about your career, you got to wear the pink sneakers on stage.
That's hilarious. Oh, my God. Wow.
For a moment. Even if
That's a really interesting little thing that you just did. Wow. All right. You put me on the spot. All right. I like it.
You got to wear the pink sneakers. Even if it's just for a moment, you got to come out in the sneakers. You know what I mean? Then I can see the cameraman starting at the bottom and tilting up from the sneakers, until you.
Hell yeah, because I was in school when I got the pink sneakers gig. I was in my second year in 2 out of 3 years of my master's program at the Actor Studio, and James Lipton and Ellen Bernstein and all these amazing people, and Al Pacino and Harvey Keitel are the directors of our program, and that's when I got the gig of Power. And so, you know what, if anything, I would just be honoring Courtney Kemp Agbo. She was the one that took a chance on me. She took a chance on me when she didn't have to, and and it wasn't set up the way that she just did it. And I will forever be grateful to her. And hell yeah, I will tell you this right now, June 1st. Yes, I confirm that if I go into the inside the Actor Studio, I will come out in my pink sneakers. You heard it here. Yes.
You heard it here first.
There you go.
On Real Talk, Starz Radio.
You're absolutely right. And just to give you guys the next thing, I'm so happy to say that a few of our fellow cast members, we're doing a feature film this summer. We're shooting in California. We're doing a horror film with a lot of the cast members from Power.
Wow. Nice.
Yes,
wow.
Gave us a nice little exclusive there.
All right.
Yes, I'm gonna do the plug if you don't mind, because I love these people that they brought me on to this the next project. It's called Let It Kill You. You can find it at letitkillyou.com. And basically Adam Huss, which plays Canto, right? And his writing partner, Adam Bucci, they developed this project called Let It Kill You, and it features Lucy Walters, which is Holly, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it also features Victor Garber, which is Simon Stern, and a few other people from the show and amazing other actors. We have an Academy Award-winning actor in there, and so anyway, so we'll be shooting that in California, and it's a horror film, which is going to be great.
A horror film. Who's directing?
I'm not really sure who's directing yet. That's still on the line, but Cancels, the character Cancels, he's running the show here, and with his writing partner Adam Bucci, and we got Lucy who plays Holly, and Simon Stern, and Pink Sneak Eyes.
Cool. Wow, that's really cool. Now we got an exclusive here. You heard it first here on
That's
Real
right.
Talk. And then that's good because you answered the question before I even asked you. I was like, hey, what's next for you? And so then you did say you're a big fan of horror films, so this must be an exciting opportunity.
Another point to get.
No, but also back to what you guys are saying is the independent film. Yes, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're doing independent film. Beautiful feature film all set up in Big Bear, California country.
Nice.
Oh wow.
That's gonna be so. You guys start shooting when?
In July. We're going to be in a cabin for a whole month of July in California in Big Bear.
Nice. That should be
which is
interesting.
what I'm saying is that like these cast members are amazing. I mean, look, they're taking me on to another project, and I don't know if you guys know that I did also a short film with Vinicius, who played Nomar. He put me on to a short film that I played one of the leads with AZ, the rapper.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. What's the name of
that?
So it's a beautiful community that's been established here with Power, and I'm just so fortunate and grateful and humbled by it completely.
No, that's really cool that that people. But like you said, when everyone is working together and you have someone at the helm who is really just kind of bringing that family together and everyone's welcoming, it's good. It works out good. Everybody kind of puts everybody else on, which that's dope, man. I'm glad to hear that. So, now the film that you just talked about, what was that film called?
Let It Kill You.
No, that's the one you got coming up. But the one that you said that was the short film that you worked on.
Oh yes, it's called By Chance.
Oh, okay. By Chance.
Yeah, and that's with AZ and Vinicius, who played Nomar, who was an amazing character. Wasn't that an amazing character?
Yeah, and I like that character, man. So, I mean, the funny thing is, I always said that the characters of Power are very interesting, and you can go a couple of different ways with it. So, I mean, I definitely, and I guess that's a tribute to your showrunner. She's doing her thing, and we're not going to hold you too much longer, but I just wanted to. You mentioned your family, and I know that was one of the first things you mentioned. You got the support of your family and stuff. I was going to ask you who are your personal inspirations. I still ask you that. You did kind of answer it by saying your family, but there's a two-part to the question. Who are your personal inspirations, and who is your professional inspiration as far as acting goes?
Certainly. My mother is my inspiration in life in general. She is the most amazing woman I've ever come across in my whole entire life, and she just surprises me constantly, and super strong, super intelligent. She's running a private practice, working with the uninsured, lower class Latino population in our town in the Hudson Valley. And, these people are like the ones that are just like getting off like the boat or the railroad or whatever. And she's the one that's servicing this community, and it's amazing what she's doing with her patients and with this community. She's become this amazing neighborhood doctor, and I'm just we're all impressed by her constantly. And so number one is always my mom, and of course my dad. My dad's the most amazing man I ever met in my life. But I would say acting-wise, I would say that my biggest mentor is my mentor is who is my biggest acting inspiration, and that's Stephen Ali Gergis, and he just the way that he just literally won the Pulitzer Prize for playwriting with his play Between Riverside and Crazy, and he's my mentor, and the way that he is so brilliant, but yet is so much of a humanitarian. The way that he works with the community and tells the story of the community. I want to be that artist eventually, or forever. I want to be that artist who he is. And so he's my biggest, inspiration in terms of the business, and then my mom, of course.
That's what's up. Sounds good to me. So before we let you go, of course, shout out your social media. Let everybody know where they can get at you and support you and follow you and your career. We do appreciate you taking the time to call in and spend this time with us. We got to learn a lot about you. We love what we've learned, and we hope our viewers, our listeners, are just as intrigued as we are.
Thank you. That's a wonderful compliment. Thank you. And thank you very much for having me and for taking the time to chat with me. Thank you so much. And people can hear me or see me or follow me rather at Twitter at the Lopez, and Instagram it's Leslie Lopez. And then stay tuned for season 2 of Power, June 6th.
June 6th, Power premieres, season 2, June 6th, on the Starz
Thank
Network.
you.
I believe, what's that, like 8 o'clock probably? Usually, last year it was coming on 8 p.m. So probably, check your local listings. And once again, we want to thank
Starz.
Oh, yeah, we want to thank you for coming on. The incredible, the lovely, and very intelligent, very beautiful Leslie Lopez, everybody.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the time. And thank you guys for being, supporters of the show, because the show is really great, and we worked really hard on it, and really amazing people on it. So thank you, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah.
Thank you,
last
Leslie.
chance. Last chance. Give us something. What happens to Pink Sneakers?
You'll have to wait and see.
She appears in the season 2. We know that much. So we're gonna be.
There will be some spice that will happen. How about that?
I told you.
We'll go with that. We'll take that and go. Thanks again, Leslie.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, guys.
You too, love. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.